Erie is not for everyone. In fact, it wasn't even for me when I first moved here 10 years ago. It is just kind of this podunk town that's north of Denver, Colorado, and I hadn't even ever heard of it until I moved here. And that's why I wanted to make this video, so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into if you're thinking about moving to Erie. So Erie is located roughly about 30 minutes north of Denver and about 25 minutes east of Boulder. And honestly, that is why so many people are now naturally gravitating towards this area. It is in a prime location for both of these major cities. Now, what else about Erie? So honestly, it's smaller. It is smaller than some of those other areas around it. It's only 20 square miles. It has about 30,000 people who live here, but it still feels even a lot smaller than that because people are very tight knit. People, go down to our little downtown area. They have their festivals, their farmers markets. People, are very much involved in the community out here. So if you want that big city life vibe, Erie is definitely not going to be for you. I've learned to love this. I've learned to love, it's very family and kid oriented out here. But I mean, again, if you're like in your early 20s and you just want to go to the bars or whatever all the time, Erie is not going to be it. Honestly, I think our restaurants, for the most part, actually all close down roughly around 10 o'clock at night. And that's even on a Friday or Saturday. So there's not a whole lot of nightlife going on in this area either. So what do people do in this area? Well, we love our outdoor sports. So we have a single track. Our Erie single track is out here. We have disc golf. We actually have the Colorado National Golf Course out here. There is plenty of paths out here that you could ride your bike, run, walk your dog, whatever. There's plenty of outdoor sports that we can do out here. For kiddos, there's plenty of recreational activities too through the Erie Rec Center. So people, will get their kids into basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever it might be, and that's year round as well. The Erie Rec Center also has like indoor swimming and indoor rock wall. They have their gym in there, a bunch of basketball courts. So, I mean, we do have this very much active lifestyle when you are living here. The weather out here is going to be pretty much kind of the same as Denver. I mean, nothing crazy. I will say, though, it does tend to get a bit windy out here. And I honestly don't know why, because it didn't always be this way. I usually felt like, more west you were was the more windy it got, just because you're right off the foothills. But Erie, for some reason, we do get those gusts of wind. So I do want you to be aware of that. If that's, anti-wind person like myself, I hate it. I'm not going to say I love wind. It sucks. And we do get windy. So I do want to make sure you are aware that we do get our windstorms out here occasionally as well. One thing that people are surprised about when they move here is the cost of living. So the housing prices right now in Erie, Colorado is roughly about $750,000 is the average to get a house out here. But honestly, they're going to be more expensive than that on average. We're well into the millions on some communities. Yes, you are going to find some that are less expensive in the $600,000 or $500,000. But for the most part, they're going to be pushing above $750,000. So that is a shocker because it is obviously more expensive than the national average, but I will say it is quite a bit less expensive than Boulder, which is on average about $1.3 million, and then Denver as well. So, I do want you to be aware of that. So why are people moving to this area opposed to some of those other areas? It is because of all the small town feel that we do actually have. You do get a lot more house than you would say in the Boulder or Denver area, but you still have that kind of small knit feel when you live here. The type of housing you can get is going to be anywhere between, say, the 1990s, when Erie, not that it was established in the 90s, because it definitely was, it's been here since the 1800s, but communities started to build out here in the 90s. So we have homes in the 90s, but a lot of new construction is taking place in Erie. And that's one thing I need you to be aware of as well if you're planning on moving here. There is a lot of new build communities. So if you're wanting that more of a mature home, yes, you could find it. Yes, you could have those homes that have the mature landscaping. But again, they're going to be more in the 90s or 2000 homes. And those are going to be, I think we have maybe 5 or 6 communities that are going to kind of fit that bill. But all the other ones are going to be within the last 10 years and then definitely new, like brand new. I mean, concrete, you're going to have, the stick trees. But those communities are also really great too, because most of them are going to have your amenities, say pool, clubhouse, A lot of them are going to have that community feel, I would say, when you're moving there, and you get to know your neighbors really quickly because you're all kind of going through that new build process as well. Another thing I want you to be aware of, Erie's political structure out here it's very much split. It leans a little bit more liberal, just a little bit. And the reason why I say this is because Erie is actually in two counties. We have Boulder County and we also have Well County. And what separates this is going to be the county line road. So Boulder County is obviously going to be a lot more liberal. Well County is going to be a lot more conservative. I say that though, is not like you're jumping across the street and you're noticing this huge difference. You really aren't. For the most part, honestly, overall, we all just it's kind of just this mesh of a bunch of, different viewpoints, and we all just get along. But I do want you to be aware, if you're wanting something hardcore one way or another, you're really not going to find that in this area, mainly because we are really too combined, and so you have combined opinions kind of all over the place. And it just kind of this mesh of, I think that kind of what really works in this area. Now, if you're moving to Erie, most likely you're not going to be working in Erie. There's not a whole lot of jobs in this area other than, say, maybe a restaurant or convenience store jobs. For the most part, you will be going outside of Erie for other, occupations. So most likely you will be heading into Boulder, to Denver, or any other surrounding areas, Longmont, things like that. So do kind of keep that in mind, that most likely you will be leaving the town of Erie, but that's okay. I mean, and honestly, the commute is not going to be bad whatsoever. Just note that. And because we are growing so much, that is benefit we have a lot of small businesses going in, it's great. I love seeing all these businesses going in. We have, finally, this isn't small, but we finally have our Starbucks and our Ziggy's coffee. We finally have, a couple gas stations other than just the one. We have a couple grocery stores now. But for the longest time, we didn't have all those things. So because of the growth and because of people are coming here, which we love, we are now needing to have more opportunities for jobs and for, just conveniences. Now, because people are coming here so rapidly, we do have somewhat of an issue with traffic. I mean, because, Erie was just a small farm town thing. Honestly, it was dirt roads for the longest time. So our traffic is really needing to expand. And that's kind of the biggest problem, I would say, regarding this area, is because we need to expand our roads. We need to, get more traffic lights and things like this, just because we have so much growth, so much building going on, and we have so much traffic that it's getting a little bit more difficult to get around just because of all this. I will say though, Erie is doing, in my opinion, a pretty good job at actually getting a handle on this, and I have seen a lot of roads being widened and traffic lights going in. So they are aware of the issue, and they are taking into account, and they are fixing it. Another big thing that I want you to be aware of when you move to Erie is that we do have a landfill. Yes, we have a landfill, and it's either a point of contention for some people and other people just don't care. I personally don't care. My community that I live in, I could see the landfill. It doesn't smell to me. I don't see trash flying everywhere, but other people are very, very much concerned with it. So I do want you to be aware that if you were to move here, there are a lot of communities that are being built around this area, especially around the landfill, that if you don't want to be a part of that, if you don't want to be near that, then obviously look in either not Erie or different areas of Erie that's going to be farther away. Again, it's not an eyesore. It just looks like a big dirt mountain. I've actually had clients who've actually requested to have a view of it because it just looks like open land. I was told that it's going to be most likely shutting down roughly 2030. I don't know what's going to happen with it after that, but it is an active landfill. You will occasionally see the trucks, driving up there, but do I think it's a big deal? No. I will say though, the houses that do look at it, like directly at it, maybe they're going to have a little bit harder time selling their home because again, it's 50-50. You're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. So that is something to definitely be aware of as well. Overall, I think Erie is one of the best places, honestly, to live, to raise your family. It's very, very family friendly, kid friendly. There's many schools in this area. In fact, we are either St. Vrain or Boulder Valley School Districts, both highly ranked. It's just an amazing place, and honestly, you could go down to our little downtown area and just be part of the Christmas parade or the Boo on Briggs trick-or-treating, the Brew Fest, all of this fun stuff. So it's definitely not city life. So if that's something that you're looking for, don't look in Erie. But other than that, I mean, it gives you so much. You know, I'm very proud to live here. Honestly, I love living here. And so I think overall, the pros definitely outweigh the cons when you're living here. Please reach out to me if you have any other questions about Erie or any other area for that matter. I am a local real estate agent in the area, and I'd be more than happy to help you. Until the next video, take care.